Hello everyone, this is Marshall Official, and welcome back to another update on the upcoming 2024 election. This is another prediction. This one's going to be based off of the newest polls. Before we get into it, I just want to say right now, thank you guys so much for how things have been going so far. Just a few days ago, I was at 87 subscribers. Now we are almost at 300. The first milestone I would love to, of course, meet would be 1,000 subscribers. So make sure you guys subscribe, hit the bell notification, and all that. And I really just want to thank you guys because this is a bit of a passion project, but now I'm starting to see a real possibility to do this for more than just a passion project. And I have to thank you guys for that. Somebody else mentioned in my previous video about poor sound quality. I would absolutely love to get a new mic. This one that I have now is obviously not the greatest. It never was the greatest, and it's kind of old at this point. But of course, I'd love to get a new one, and you guys can help me with that just by hitting the bell, hitting that bell notification, hitting that subscribe button. And help me get to 1,000 subscribers. That's a big help. And again, it doesn't cost you guys a thing. You can always undo it later whenever you want to. And you know what? For the first time now, I'm gonna put a like goal for this one. Let's go for 50 likes. Why not? But something simple like that. And anyways, guys, I just want to take a quick second to thank you for getting me as far as we've gotten so far. I think it's amazing. And I also just want to get a question. Another thing I wanted to point out is the fact that, well, obviously you guys can see it. I'm using a different map for this. Yeah, the 270 to win map was not very good. I never did like using that one. This one is 100% better. There's a lot more things I can do with it, and it's customizable. And obviously, you can see the map a lot better than the other one. There's not all those ads all over the place. So, very happy for that. And I got more tools here. It's easier to use. For example, if I press the F button, if I press F, I can easily fill the map in. Like here, I can just do this, and then boom, I can fill the map in so much easier than the other one. So this really is a big upgrade. I'm loving this map so far. So obviously, something like this is going to be much easier to make these videos. And if we hit the like goal of 50 likes, I have another election update for you guys tomorrow, easily. Let's do that. So, anyways, I do want to say once again, thank you guys for getting me this far. It really does mean a lot to me. I wake up every morning, look at it, and I'm genuinely proud of what I'm seeing so far. And it's all thanks to you guys. You guys out there are absolutely amazing. Thanks to all of you right now. And you guys have been helping me out, finding, stuff like this that I've been using, this extension I've been using in my Ukraine video. I used it in my last video. You guys helped me out with finding this new map, so thank you guys for that a ton. And so again, I can easily fill the map in just by doing this, something like that, by pressing F. So this is a big update. I really like this new map, and the channel's getting better. You can see it right here. Things are getting better, and I want to keep this going. Keep on making more improvements, keeping this going. That's my goal, is to bring you guys news about what's going on in the modern world. I do also intend to make history videos at some point. I've actually been planning about a Titanic video at some point, so that'll be down the line at some point. That'll be down the line, but it's coming. Keep that in mind. It is coming. But for now, we're going to focus on the election and the Russo-Ukrainian war. I'm not going to stop the Russo-Ukrainian war until obviously that war is over. So don't think I'm going to replace modern stuff with history. No, I'm going to keep going with what I'm doing, but I'm going to at some point start making history videos as well. That is my goal, and I want to keep on improving the quality for you guys. Again, I'm hoping this video I did make some adjustments, so I'm hoping the sound quality is a little bit better than the last one. It should be a little bit better now. But anyways, you guys, you can see here the new map. We're going to keep things going, new map, and we're going to get right on into it. And well, here you go, guys. And with that being said, this is your election, and then no, I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. Anyways, let's actually get into it now. And we're gonna start where we always start. Obviously, we're gonna start in the west and move our way east. We're gonna start in California, as we always do. So let's go to California now. California is expected. It's gonna be strong for Harris. There's just no changing that whatsoever. Oh, by the way, this one has 4 colors, not 3. So here's how it's gonna work. If it is, let me see this. If it is, if I press it, there we go. If it's 1% or lower, it's going to be tilt, like this. It's going to be a tilt state. If it is 1% to 5%, it will be a lean state, like this. If it's 5% to 15%, it will be a likely state. If it's over 15%, I'm going to put it as solid. So that's how this is going to work. So just letting you guys know about that. And then, all right, let's go on to our next state right now, which is Oregon and Washington. Both of these states are going to be solidly for Kamala Harris. Well, not solid, sorry. They're going to be both likely. Well, what's going on here? Jeez. Sorry, I'm still getting used to it. There we go. Both of these states are going to be likely for her between that 5 and 15%. However, Oregon does have a chance of dropping to the possibility of being just a lean state. But for right now, this is what it's going to look like. Before we get to our first battleground state, we're just going to quickly fill in the states that we know are going to be solid for Donald Trump. Right there, like that, and including this, except the 2nd district. Let's go to Nevada now. Okay, so I did mention that I was making this video based off the newest polls, and we did get some very interesting information, very important information. And I'm going to show it when we get back to the map real quick. But as you can see right now, the newest poll has Nevada labeled as a tie, but the poll before that has Harris up by 1%, and the RSP average is up by 0.2%. So Nevada, we will be awarding by a tilt margin. It will be going to wrong person. It will be going to Kamala Harris. I'm still getting used to this. There we go. By a tilt margin. And while we're just gonna quickly fill in Hawaii and Alaska. While we're we already know what these states are gonna look like. Okay, I want to point out quickly. I should have done this at the start of the video. I always do this. We're gonna notice right now that you probably already saw in the title, Trump is surging. And the reason I want to mention this is because a lot has changed between the debate and my last video, I should say. My last video after the debate and now. That's what I meant to say. Because Harris was looking pretty good after the debate. You know, she was riding pretty strong after that debate. Several things happened. 3 things, I should say. 3 things happened since then that absolutely turned us around. Starting off, we had a second Donald Trump assassination attempt. Which, to me, that just boggles my mind. I just have to say this right now. That boggles my mind. But another assassination attempt. And there was even rumors of a third one. I'm pretty sure that was debunked. Of a bomb being in the car, something like that. But that was debunked, I'm pretty sure. But there was rumors of a third one. But there was definitely a second attempt on Donald Trump's life. So that's what's actually... So that happened, which was a shock. You know, 1 was already major. But 2 assassination attempts on a president. And that has boosted Trump like crazy, you know... That didn't happen to Biden in 2020. It didn't happen to Clinton in 2016. But here we go. Trump has almost been shot twice now. And that has really rattled a lot of people. They're like, what is going on? How is this happening? So that's why that this has happened. And that why that has boosted Trump a ton. And has really canceled a ton of Kamala Harris's debate boost that she got. That really canceled on, and on bigger than that, there's even bigger news than that. The big thing, they're about equally as big, but this other big thing is the uncommitted group says it won't endorse Harris over Gaza concerns. That's major. So the thing is about this group is that they are they're very pro-Palestine, and they don't like the fact that Kamala Harris does not have a strong stance against Israel in what's going on over in the Gaza. That's what this really comes down to. That's why this group has decided not to support her. And this group, back in the primaries, they mobilized 700,000 people to vote against Joe Biden in the primaries. And the majority of these people, or a huge amount of them, are located in these battleground states. Minnesota, Wisconsin, and especially Michigan. That's very major. And these 700,000 people voted against Joe Biden because of the same reason. Now they've done the same thing to Kamala Harris. They have refused to endorse Kamala Harris for this reason. That's not all, however. On top of that, another group, the Teamsters, have refused to endorse a Democratic nominee for president for the very first time since 1996. This is the first time they've done that since 1996. They are also refusing to support Kamala Harris. That is major. Just like the other one, we're going to see this impact in these battleground states. A lot of the reason for it is because a lot of the members of Teamsters, they support Trump. A lot of the members, they're supporting Donald Trump. Not so many of them are supporting Harris. It's like 60 to 34, something like that. So you can see that why this is major, and it's going to absolutely turn. Because before, Pennsylvania was really up in the air, You know, it could go either way. We really just did not know. And you heard this in my previous election videos, how I was so unsure about these states. It was hard for me to make a decision. But with Wisconsin and Michigan, I was even talking about how Harris was starting to pull ahead in those states. It was looking pretty good for her. Trump could win them, but it was definitely leaning towards her, at least in the polls, which tend to overestimate Democrats anyways. But at least in the polls, she was pulling ahead. But now it's really up in the air because of this. Donald Trump assassinations and these groups not endorsing Kamala Harris, which was a shock, a major shock, and they've refused to endorse her, especially Teamsters and that other group, the uncommitted group. The fact that we're going to see that impact right here in these 4 states, and specifically these 3 states, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, especially these 2, definitely. So Wisconsin and Michigan are just as up in the air now as Pennsylvania is. If they're not leaning towards Trump, they're up in the air. It's because of this, because that is how major of a deal that this is. And on top of that, according to Fox News, Donald Trump is now ahead of Kamala Harris nationally. Listen to me, nationally by 1%. He is ahead of her on a national stance because because Teamsters and all of that. What that's coming from and why they're so against her is her want to push economic stuff. This is why I said Donald Trump definitely won the part of the debate about Pennsylvania and fracking, because he called her out on the fact that fracking is so important in Pennsylvania, and she's gonna be against it. She said she wasn't, but we know that she is. So that's why that's so important. And these are unions that are going against her. These are high paying union jobs, and they don't like her because they're high paying union energy jobs, and they don't like what she's pushing. And that's gonna shake this. That's gonna really shake it up. And I bet Kamala is probably worried now because of that, and she should be, because it went from a good path to victory to it's really up in the air now. If it's either leaning towards Trump or it's up in the air. And again, according to Fox News, Trump is ahead nationally by 1%. The whole nation. That he has not been ahead once, ahead of her at all the whole time. And now he's apparently ahead of her nationally. So he might not only win the electoral vote, but the popular vote as well. That's major. Very much so. Alright, before we get to the next background, the third thing I wanted to mention, that's very important. Trump's been making some brand new ads that I'm seeing on YouTube, and let me just say, those ads are 100 times better than Kamala Harris's. I'm not going to tell you who I'm voting for. As far as I'm going to say out there, I'm an independent. I'm not. But I'm just going to pretend that I am. I am not going to say who I'm voting for. The only thing I will say is I encourage everyone to get out there and vote. If you want Kamala Harris to win, if you want her to win, you get out there and vote for her. If you want Donald Trump to win, get out there and vote for her. If you know who you want to vote for, no reason not to. If you're of age, if you're over 18, just vote. Go out there and vote. There's no reason. If you know who you want to win, then vote for them. If you want Donald Trump to win, get out there and vote for him. Why would you not do that? There's no reason to. Again, I'm not going to say who I'm voting for, who I'm for, but I know who I'm voting for, and I'm going to get out there and vote. And I encourage everybody else to do the same thing for whoever they want to win. That's all I'm going to say. So I just want to point out there, but quality-wise, the Trump ads that I was seeing looked way better than Kamala Harris's ads. Way better. There was one ad. It was very cinematic, if you will, very go go go, if you will, and it gets you that feeling, you know, that powerful feeling, strength feeling. It was an ad about like make America great again, powerful again, and all that. You've probably seen it. And there was another one. I don't know how to describe it. It was very cinematic and it was very good. So Trump's making new ads and they're very well made, is what it comes down to. Well, anyways, that's enough talking. That's why this is going on. Let's get back to the map now. Let's go to Arizona. Arizona, Donald Trump maintains a strong lead. You can see here the newest poll Trump up by 1%, but he's leading on average by 1.6%. So there's no doubt that Kamala Harris is definitely losing her chances of winning this state by quite a lot. So we are going to be awarding this state to Donald Trump by a lean margin. Not a tilt, but a lean margin. So anyways, let's go to Colorado, New Mexico, but we already know what they're going to be. But let's just go to them anyways. Both of these states will be likely. There you go. Oh wait, what? There you go. Yeah, sorry, I'm still getting used to controls. Still getting used to those. Alright, let's go to major state of Texas. And before that, let's just quickly fill in this. It will be tilt. There you go. for Kamala Harris. All right, so here we go in Texas. As you can clearly see, Donald Trump is definitely the favorite to win in Texas. He's up by 4%, according to the newest poll. RCP average has up by 7.3. We are going to be awarding the state to him, according to the newest poll. Again, this is a newest poll video, so according to the newest poll, we will be awarding the state to him by a lean, not likely margin. Nevertheless, it probably will be a likely, if not even a solid state. Nevertheless, but for the newest poll, it clearly has Donald Trump up by just a lean margin. But again, it's going to be more than that, without a doubt. While we're at, we're going to quickly fill in all the other safe states for Donald Trump, the states that we know he's going to win. And again, this is where that tool comes in handy right here, like that. Oh, whoops. All right, so that's all the safe states that we need to fill in. Now we're going to go to the state of Minnesota. In Minnesota, we see here it's quite close. The state is going to be a lean state according to the newest poll, not a likely state. RCP average has it as a likely barely, but according to this poll, it will still be a lean state. Minnesota is one of those states that will be affected by these major things that we just talked about. Nevertheless, it's still going to almost guarantee go to Kamala Harris, at least by a slim margin. Trump does have a chance of winning it, but nevertheless, it's probably going to go to Kamala Harris. There we go. So that will be the state of Minnesota. Let's go to Wisconsin. See, this is exactly why I wanted to wait to make this update, because this is the result of what we were just talking about. This is exactly why I am making a newest poll update and not a average poll update, because these major things have changed things so rapidly, and this is a clear result. Wisconsin and Michigan are going to be the two biggest states affected by those two groups that I talked about. And here we have Trump up by 1%. So I will have to give the state to Donald Trump by a tilt margin. And he definitely has shown that he can win the state in the past. He won in 2016. And because we know what this state's going to look like, or how much the state's going to be affected by those major events, I think it's very much realistic to give the state to Donald Trump. Let's go to Michigan. Okay, so here in Michigan, we can see here, according to the polls that we have, Michigan remains quite close for comments, but we have not gotten a new poll in at least 3 days now. So take it with a grain of salt, but we'll see how it changes. But nevertheless, for right now, the state will be a lean Democratic state. For now, we'll have to see how this changes. We'll wait for more polls to come out. For now, we're going to be following what it says. The state will be a lean Democratic state. Let's go to the state of Ohio. In Ohio, we don't have any brand new polling. This was already out last time in my video. And you can already tell, not even going to waste time with it. Donald Trump will win this state by a tilt margin. Oh, sorry, by a likely margin, not tilt. Likely. Okay, so we've already filled out most of the states at this point, but we do have to go to some more. We do have a few more major states, and that is Georgia, North Carolina, and Pennsylvania. And also, comes as a shock to you guys, Virginia. We did get major news from Virginia just today. I haven't even looked to see if it's on, up here. I haven't even looked at that. If it's not on there, I'm gonna do what I found out happened today by the New York Times, because Virginia, we got some major news from Virginia. Let's go to Pennsylvania though, which we know will be the most important state in this election. Pennsylvania, we got quite a few new polls actually from between now and my last video. We saw remember just a little bit ago, before the 15th, there was a big Trump was ahead barely, but he had there was a tie Trump. Then we got this big surge for Kamala Harris following the debate. But now, with what's been going on recently, tie Trump. Look at this, tie Trump. Kamala Harris surges, tie Trump. This is how close Pennsylvania is, and this is how Pennsylvania is literally swinging left and right like crazy. And the state will be a tilt Republican state. Already, Donald Trump has won many of the key states that he needs to win. Let's go to Georgia now, and things are heating up quickly. We'll get to Virginia in a minute. Let's go to Georgia. In Georgia, we can see here the state is very much so turning out to just not be very competitive. It was quite competitive before, but we got several polls now with Trump up by 3%. And so you can see that this state is very much so shifting away from Kamala Harris. If we look at more of the polls, we can see we have not had a poll with Kamala Harris up since August. Ever since August, she has not been up in any of the polls, and it's clear that this state, which she used to have a lead in at some point back here on early September, she was leading the state, and now you can see starting from the 16th, because of what I because of what I was talking about, from starting from the 16th, Trump has pulled ahead, and he continues to pull ahead more. So this state, which was quite close, is going to be almost guaranteed to go to Donald Trump, and he will take it with a lean margin, not a tilt, lean margin. And we already know what Florida's going to be. We're going to quickly just fill in as likely. But let's go to the polls. And yeah, not worth talking about it. You can see here it's going to be likely. So the state, we're just going to leave it. Let's go to the state of North Carolina now. North Carolina is getting quite interesting. Take a look at this. I have to listen to the newest polls. Now, I do think North Carolina's going to go to Donald Trump because for some reason, 2016 and 2020, the polls said North Carolina was going to go to Biden and Clinton, and it didn't. It still went to Donald Trump by a considerable margin. Now, in the polling average, he does remain ahead in polling average, but according to the newest poll, Harris is leading in this state by 1%. That seems hard to believe because for some reason, when it really comes time to vote, North Carolina voters, they get out there and they vote for Trump. Or they vote Republican, I should say. For some reason, even North Carolina is always a state that looks like it might go Democratic, and then it just doesn't. It just, for some reason, just doesn't. So, as you can clearly see, we will be giving the state, because we have to listen to the polling average, we will be giving the state to Kamala Harris by a tilt margin. As much as insane as that might sound, we just have to stay neutral and follow the polls. But the state, according to what we have now, the newest poll, it will go to her. Realistically, I just don't think that's going to happen. There's really, I mean, if we look at Trump is leading in the polling average still, and we have many of these polls that have Donald Trump. We look here, Donald Trump is clearly the favorite to win by a considerable margin from this state. In many of these polls. So, but this is the newest poll, so we will obey it. But we have not had a Trump poll since the 16th, and that's when stuff started to pop off. So we'll see what happens in the newest polls. Following what we have now, we will give this state to Harris. It's definitely gonna go Donald Trump, though. Place your bets. I'm placing my bets on Donald Trump for this state. Now let's go to Virginia. And I looked at it. Virginia is not on the RC. It's not on the RCP. But we're gonna go to the New York Times because that's where the major news is. According to the New York Post, in this new poll, Kamala Harris leads by just 1% over Donald Trump in a, as they're calling it, surprise battleground state. It's a surprise because this state has not gone Democratic has not gone Republican since 2004. It has been a Democratic state ever since 2004, but now it's clear that this state has a real chance of going back to Donald Trump. Before I was like, yeah, it might happen, but it probably will go to Kamala Harris. I was like, it could, maybe there's a chance, but it probably will go to her. Now there really is a real chance that Donald Trump can win Virginia. If it gets any closer than this, and they might still be underestimating him, I'm not sure, but if they are underestimating him, then this state really does have a good chance of going to Donald Trump. We are going to leave it as a tilt for the first time. It's not going to be a lean or likely. It's going to be a tilt Democratic state. But there is a real chance that it could be this. And that would, first of all, that would put Donald Trump over already. What's it called? Well, he's actually already over anyways, but I'm just putting it out there that if that was to happen, one, he would win the election. Two, he would win the election anyways, but he wouldn't even need Virginia at this point. But he could actually expand his lead significantly because of that. And that is why I want to say this for the last. We're going to quickly fill in the rest of this. We don't know what it's going to be. But I just want to quickly put this out there that this is why Virginia has now become a key battleground state. Before it was a sort of battleground state, but really, it really wasn't. It was probably going to go to Kamala Harris. But now it's a battleground state. Like, don't get it wrong. Trump can now win this state. And it's going to be close. Kamala Harris is still ahead by 1 or less of a percent. But, nevertheless, and again, she's not going to win North Carolina. That's just not going to happen. But according to the newest poll, she will. But that's not going to happen. But Virginia could go Republican for the first time since 2004. And according to and by the way, the New York Times, they are reliable. They very much so are. But the New York Times, when it comes to the election, tend to overestimate Democrats slightly. like by a percentage, maybe a little bit more than like maybe 2%. They do overestimate Democrats just slightly, but they do it. So if we take that into account, it's probably a tie. It's probably an absolute tie right now in Virginia. So I would say Virginia right now is a deadlock tie. Is what and it maybe leans slightly to Kamala Harris, but Trump, depending on the voter turnout, Trump can win Virginia. And with that, we're just going to quickly fill in the other states. We already know what all these states are going to be. All these states will be either solid or likely for Kamala Harris. This one will be likely, and this Kamala will be solid. And New York will obviously be likely. It's not going to be solid. That's major. It's not going to be solid. Let's go to in Maine. We know Kamala is going to win the first district, first district. Donald Trump will win the second district, and Kamala will likely by a lean margin, will probably win the state as a whole. This is your election based off all the newest polls. Trump is on track to win the election with 275 electoral votes. Major shifts over the last couple of days, major events have totally turned this election around and have definitely very, very hardly hurt Kamala Harris's campaign. So with that, Donald Trump is once again back on top. He is surging once again. He's already the favorite to win 275 electoral votes, and it's probably going to be even more than that. So that's going to be all for today. Like, subscribe, hit the notification. Thank you guys once again for all you've done so far. Let's keep it going. Let's reach 1,000 subscribers soon. And I'll see you guys next time. Bye.